Good morning, everyone. We are super excited to be here today. We've got some early birds on the line. Welcome to you guys. My name is Julie Escobar, and we are going to be talking about the secret to success, leveraging the new real estate reality today. Thank you so much for having us and so much to the leadership at your board. We're super excited. If you guys would do me a favor and use that Q&A panel there just to tell me what you hope to get out of today. That way we can get started. You'll see a little Q&A. This is going to be where we're also going to ask questions. And we're going to take as many questions as we can at the end of the webinar today. There's also a handout section. If you want to click on that and download it, it's just a little note-taking, a way for you to navigate what strategies you want to take from today's webinar. So if you want to click on handouts, you can download that PDF and you can print that out. And that way you have a space to take notes today. Again, if you guys want to use that Q&A and kind of tell us where you're from in the state and what you hope to get out of today and what's going on with you. Got any questions? We're excited to have you. Good morning. Good morning. We've got Sarah is going to be here today as well. She's going to help with any technical questions. If you've got technical questions, you can ask us there as well.
We got a lot of shy people, it seems. What's up with that? So, gang, this is happening live. Yeah. New Yorkers in the house. Good morning, everybody. So we're not officially started yet. I just want to help Julie out. There we go. Keith, good morning.
My man, Keith. Good morning, Keith.
So make sure that you guys, we're going to publish Keith over here, Julie. You'll just publish him. Yeah. And so we like to know what you hope to get out of today. So use the Q&A, everybody. It's a little test. This is a tech test to see if you can fill out the comments. Kimberly, good. Keith, I love that early bird. So let us know your thoughts and how excited you are. And I'm going to throw it back to Julie. Go ahead, Julie.
It's also a great way to let your colleagues know that you're on the line. So good morning to you, Heather. So use that Q&A to tell us your name and where you're from in the state and what you hope to get out of today and to say hello to your colleagues. Good morning, Beth. Hello from Mississippi. Beth, the AE from the Mississippi.
Yeah. Hey, Beth. Well, I'm honored. Oh, my God, Julie, I'm nervous now.
Oh, no.
Beth is in the house.
Beth is in the house.
Uh-oh. I better be good.
Welcome, guys. We're going to be starting in just a minute. So if you could use that Q&A panel, tell us, what you hope to get out of today. Let your friends know that you're here. We've got Brian from Walnut Grove. Welcome, Brian. Got Glenn Riley from Laurel. Keith is from Tupelo. State president. Oh, we got the state president on the line, Darryl.
All right. I'm really nervous. We got some really heavy hitters today.
We do. We got Lori from Madison. Welcome, Lori. We're excited to have you guys on the line. It is 11. Do we want to go ahead and get rocking and rolling?
Let's give it another 30 seconds. It's still 11 for the next 45 seconds.
Perfect. We've got Christopher from Jackson. We got Sandy from Ocean Springs. Welcome. Michelle from Brandon. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Again, if you guys want to click on that handout and download that and print it, it's a little note-taking sheet for you so you can write down what strategies you want to take from today. We do have a full hour, so we are going to take questions at the end, but feel free to write your questions at any time. We're excited to have you here, and we're happy to answer all of your real estate questions. So we're going to cover a lot this morning, so just kind of don't feel like you have to write it all down. Just kind of be present with us, but do take some good notes. Good morning, Jenna.
All right, boss. I'm ready whenever you are.
You ready? All right. Good morning, Theodore. Let's get started. All right. Good morning, Mississippi. We're so excited that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about the secret to success, leveraging the new real estate reality with our coach, Darryl Davis. To get the most from today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes. And we want you to use this Q&A panel here to ask any questions that you might have. We are going to try and get to as many as we can at the end of the call. If you want to reach Darryl at any time after today's webinar, you can reach him on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl is the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one that you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually the #1 best-selling book to realtors on Amazon. Darryl was recently named one of the 2020 Influencers, Thought Leaders, Newsmakers by Risk Media magazine. And he is the recipient of the coveted CSP designation from the National Speakers Association. It's given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. On that note, Darryl, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. Good morning. Thank you, Julie. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to this webinar. Very excited to share this time with you this morning with you. I want to shout out to Andrea Dietrich, your fearless leader, education director. It's because of her commitment to you. And of course, Beth, your AE, is why I'm here to do this session with you. This is going to be, as Julie said, jam-packed. We've got a lot to cover. And so let's get into that. So again, I want to thank you, and thank you for taking your time to be on this call, because I know it's valuable. So let me back up here for a second. The secrets to success and leveraging that's our topic, right? We're going to talk about building inventory. And there's a concept that I want to teach you about building inventory. And that is, if you were going to get out of real estate and sell shoes, for example, there's one of 2 ways you can do it. You can go get a store, get the shoes, promote your store, and buyers come to your store to buy your shoes. The other option is you find the buyer wants to buy a pair of shoes, take them, put them in the car, and drive them from shoe store to shoe store. Obviously, it's better having the store with the shoes. And in our business, our shoes are listings. We want to focus on building inventory. If you don't have inventory, you have an empty shoe store. So that's why this is so important. We're going to be talking about building inventory. We're going to focus on that today, because that's going to really help you. Now, here's the first tip, and I'd like you to jot down, and that's be a leader in our industry. Now, this is, I want to have a serious conversation with you, and this is going to be the first tip. And this first tip, I'm not going to get political with you on this, but we can't escape the fact that we have this thing called the pandemic. We have this thing called the coronavirus, and it has changed and altered our lives. No matter where you are on your Democratic or a Republican or any of that stuff, because this is not a political conversation. This is about perceptions of people. Let me share this with you. There's a concept about business, which is you want to manage the customer's expectation, manage the customer's perception about you. Now, you see, here's the thing. In real estate, we have buyers and sellers that are going to be in all different spectrums. Some are going to feel very uncomfortable with the virus situation, and some that think it's make-believe and it's not for real. Here's another business philosophy, which is you should plan for the worst, hope for the best, and assume every customer that you work with has a concern about the virus. This is important distinction here, because if you don't are not concerned about it, but you're dealing with somebody who is, you may lose that piece of business. So let me share with you some examples. Here's a restaurant. Now, what they did, this restaurant, is create this safe environment for people, right? To say, all right, if you want to eat at a restaurant, last night we went to go out for dinner, and a place that we went, we just didn't feel comfortable because they didn't seem like they were practicing that social distance. So what do? We took our money and we didn't spend it at that restaurant. Amazon, if you notice with Amazon, they've been advertising and promoting, hey, listen, we're keeping our employees safe, we're keeping our customers safe. And because, again, it's the perception. During this coronavirus time, I had to download the Pizza Hut app, and I've been ordering a lot of pizza. It's called Coronavirus Wait. And they promote, like, listen, you have to worry, like, it's hands-free and it's 200 with the heat and we burn off any virus. Like, they promote this whole thing to manage people's perceptions. This is one of our power agents at their open house. And when buyers come to their open house, They have this table outside. They have all of the stuff, the gloves and the mask, and there's the things to sign. I'm not going to play this video. It's just a screenshot. But the concept is our students are like, you know what? Let's just make the customer feel safe and comfortable. That's the point and the message here about being a leader. You know, I'll show you, for example, New York. This is New York when it comes to the virus. And we've been really tight. Like this New York, we just been crazy as soon as it happened. And you'll see that for the past June, July, we're going on to 2 months now. We've had this flat line. But I want to show you real estate. Look at this. This is an open house from one of our power agents. She listed this property for $350,000. She got an offer, got it accepted for $412,000. So that's, what is that? $62,000 over the listing price. And you'll notice everybody's wearing a mask, a safe distance. So again, what I'm going to tell you and suggest that you do when you're talking to buyers or sellers is tell them, listen, don't worry, we do safe showings. And here's what a safe showing is. You know, the S stands for sanitize. We make sure that the property is sanitized. We make sure the buyers, we have the hand sanitizers for them when we're doing the showings. We make sure people's airways are covered with masks. And we have people take off their shoes because studies have shown that it carries on the feet because it's heavy virus and it's on the ground. And then, of course, there's no touching. We open up, when we're doing our showings, we open up the doors, we open up the windows, and that way the buyers, they look with their eyes and not their hands. So that we practice safe showings. So what we want to do, gang, is focus on building inventory in our business, talking to our sellers about this. And now here's something that's been coming up. Sellers have been asking this question is, should I sell now? Is now a good time to sell? Let me just take me off screen there so you can see that. Is now a good time to sell? Yes, now is a great time to sell. Why? Because mortgage rates are low. This is perhaps the best time to sell real estate. Buyers are getting more house for the money. There's less competition because there's just less inventory. There's more buyers. So the fact that you have less inventory makes your property more valuable. Only serious buyers are going to come out during this time. And as your agent, I'm more than equipped to help keep you and keep the house safe. And last, houses are selling for top dollar. So yeah, now is really, truly a great time to sell. You know, gang, here's the other thing I want to say about being a leader, because I want to make sure I really get this point across, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Is, you know, this whole virus, when it came out, it's like some states are telling shelter in, you know, you've got to stay in where? Their homes. What we've been noticing, and I think part of the reason why our industry has been staying strong, why property values have still been going up when we're seeing some of the things that we're seeing in unemployment or what's happening in the world, is because this is the one security that people have, is their home where they live. You know, people go out into the street and, you know, they go shopping and they feel uncomfortable and they see people wearing the mask, or they're worried about this. Where do they want to hurry back home? Where they want to hurry back is their home. So you and I are in the industry of taking care of people. This virus is our virus, is how I see it. Okay, so let's go back to this. And here's the next thing. Get super organized. So number one is be a leader in your industry. Number two, by managing people's perceptions. The second thing is get super organized. If we're going to focus on building inventory, which again is what I think is important for you to do in your business, especially in today's market. If we're honest, some of us are uncomfortable in prospecting and building inventory, right? So how do we overcome that? Well, in dealing with the fear or the I don't want to prospect, you want to remove as many obstacles as possible, and that's getting organized. So let me give you some suggestions on how to get organized. You know, we have in our coaching program, we have the Power Agent program. We have a ton of forms and checklists for people. And I'm going to share some of the things and show them to you that are really powerful from the time management section of our training. This is called the listing inventory chart. And here's how it works. The whole concept is not about just getting listings, but about building inventory. So let's say, just as an example, we're in January, you had 6 listings. And if in the month of January you had 4 of those go into contract, you'd be pretty excited. Be like, woohoo, that's a great month. But if you look at what just happened to your inventory, it went down dramatically. Now, this is a problem. Every broker will tell you when inventory is down, it's a concern for the business. Let's go back to that shoe store analogy. If a shoe store owner had, whatever their inventory was, right? If they had 80% of that inventory gets sold, does that create a problem for the shoe store? Of course it does. What does a shoe store owner do if they sold 80% of their inventory? They'd say, wow, this was a great month, but I better take my inventory and restock the shelves. This is how we need to think in our business. So by building inventory, we're not just getting listings. We want to keep maintaining and building and adding to it. And here's what I can tell you. If this is what your inventory chart looks like this year, over the next 12 months, I promise you that's what your income is going to look like. One of our power agents, I just spoke to him, Larry Gardner. He has done from January to now 70 transactions, which is pretty awesome. And Larry said it's because he focuses on keep getting those listings. I don't have to tell you this. Every listing is equal to 2 sales. Why? You have the listing sold side and you have the buyer side. Now, of course, it's not as easy in this market, but this is what we have to focus on. Here's the next thing about getting organized, getting super organized, is having a schedule for yourself. Now, we created this for one of our power agents because they said, Darryl, can you actually give me, hour by hour what I should be doing? I'm not saying that this is the perfect schedule, but, because when our power agents ask us, hey, you don't have this, can you create it? We try and create it for them. So this is one of those things. And you'll notice we blocked out prospecting. Let me see if You'll notice in the morning, 9 to 10, there's prospecting for now business. And then 2:30 to 4:30 is future business. Let me explain the difference of those two. I'll give you a little extra material. Now business is anything that you can do to generate listings like today. For example, calling FSBOs or calling expireds. Why? What do we know about these folks? Or approaching them. If you don't want to call them, you want to mail them, you want to door knock, whatever. But what we know about FSBOs and expireds, they want to sell when? Now. So that's now business. Future business would be things like farming, self-promotion, social media, doing posts, planting seeds. There was a reason in real estate why we call it farming, because what do you do when you farm? You plant a seed, you water it, you cultivate it, you fertilize it, you wait for the sun, and over time it grows, produces results. But the thing about farming, it costs money and time. And I always tell power agents, do not farm unless you have at least 6 months of money and time, because it's going to take that long. So going back to this is scheduling twice a day, doing a little now business prospecting and a little future. Let me show you something else. Stay super organized. I want you to imagine, and like not everybody needs this. Like there are some agents that are like self-starters, right? That they love to prospect and they're very energetic and they're focused, right? But the majority of us need that help in staying focused on prospecting and building our inventory. So imagine if you did something like this. You created an activity tracker. And imagine if you printed this out or designed one and hung it up in your office somewhere, right? So the game here is you've got call 5 past clients, send 50 letters, call 5 FSBOs, call 5 expires, etc. And then the game is every day you want to do as many of those items as you possibly can. Even if you just did one on, let's say, Monday and one on Tuesday, that's better than doing 0. Again, these are all things, these little things like this is to help you stay focused, super organized, so that way you're eat, sleep, and drinking, building inventory. Oh, I have a gift for you guys. One of the companies that I totally recommend is this company here, RedX. I just want to say what it is. At RedX, what they'll do is they'll research and find for you all the leads, whether they're FSBOs, expireds. So if you look at the bottom of that screen, it's showing you expireds on the left there, and then FSBOs, then there's for rent by owners, pre-foreclosures. Okay. So what happens, now this is a separate company. I have no ownership or shares in this company, but I push the heck out of them because I think they're so valuable. What happens when you set up an account and you log in, this is what your dashboard looks like. You'll notice on the left-hand side, here's all the expireds, here's all the FSBOs, pre-foreclosures. And then in the middle of the screen, you'll see that, okay, here's the new ones. These are the people I've contacted. These are the ones I've set an appointment up before. And if you click on one of those, I think that's my next slide. Let me see. Yeah. So if you click on one, it'll show you, okay, here's the owner information at the bottom. There's the photo. There's the contact information. Up top is some scripts and dialogues to call these people. And they have this other thing, which is part of it. It's called Storm Dialer. And what's really cool about Storm Dialer is, Julie, are we okay on the, because I just noticed something.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. So I think people, if they want to copy these slides, I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of these in a minute. We'll do something special for you guys. We're doing some special for some other agents, so we'll talk about that at the end. Anyway, so this software here, Storm Dialer, is part of RedX. So what happens is Storm Dialer will go into, let me go back in the screens here. It'll take all of the leads in your account and it will automatically call for you. And once somebody answers the phone, it'll connect you to that person. So instead of you dialing individually, right, it'll dial a massive amount of people. So you're not wasting time doing dial after dial after dial. Now, the other thing that RedX has, which is pretty awesome, is if somebody's on the do not call list, it'll tell you if they're on the do not call list. And then based on your company policy or your personal preference, you call them or don't call them. Anyway, it's an incredible program. I have a special for you I'm going to tell you about. I did this because for Andrea, we only tell our power agents what I'm showing you right this second. So we negotiated a deal with RedX that our power agents, they don't pay the setup fee of $150 and they don't pay the first 30 days so you can try it. So that's the website. Now listen, gang, do me a favor. Do not share this outside of this conference call that we're doing because I'm serious that this is something that this company just created for our students, our membership. So this is truly a gift for you. And what you would do is you go to darrylspecial.com. You'll see the promo code in the screen. It says SMILE. It's all capital letters. And when you do that, RedX believes you're one of our students, and then it waives your setup fee of $150. It waives the first 30 days. And if you wanted to, if you canceled before the 30 days, you got to try the whole thing at no cost, okay? Now, let's see. Next thing is so that's getting super organized. Julie, what was that question? Here's the next thing. What was that question about RedX in Mississippi?
They wanted to know if RedX works there in Mississippi because it's a non-disclosure state.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that it does. So if you want, you can call RedX, ask them that question, and then go to that website to get that special. If you call RedX, they have their own sales team. They won't sign you up on that special over the phone. You can tell them, well, I'm one of Darryl's students, and they'll be like, Darryl who? Because the sales team, they get paid a commission on those sales. So, okay. Next thing is choose a dial for dollars. Now, here's what I mean by choosing a dial for dollars. What you want to do is, so let's recap what we've said so far. At the top of this call, we said, you can make money in two areas, working with buyers, working with sellers. And the model that has always been the case is working with sellers, building inventory. And it's tougher in this market, there's no doubt. So what you want to do, though, is you need to put the effort into doing that, because if you don't and you have no listings, you have an empty shoe store, and then you're left with putting buyers into your car and driving them from house to house trying to sell them a pair of shoes. This is not a good business model. So you have to work harder, perhaps, in this interesting market to build that inventory. So the first thing is get super organized, right? Have the charts, clean the desk, clear the field, schedule the time. I'm going to do this. And here's the thing, for those of you that need to hear this, is like you're afraid to do this, you don't want to do this, and it takes time. So anything that's worth having and doing takes time, and you have to commit to the process and be patient with yourself. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Okay. If you had children and your children were learning algebra or how to play the piano or play soccer or whatever, you didn't have them quit the first time they did it. All right. You said, don't worry. It takes time. You'll get better at this. Listen to yourself, parents. Okay. Now, next thing is you're going to make some calls, and that's one of the places to generate listing inventory. Okay. This is why we're saying choose a dial for dollars. It doesn't have to be any one item, but it's something that works for you that you're willing to do. Now, I have this thing with our power agents. We created these signs to hang up on the door. Do not disturb. I'm making it rain, or, do not disturb. I'm hitting my targets. This is one of my favorites, is actually putting a picture of your family on there and saying, hey, I'm prospecting with a purpose. I'm prospecting for my family, right? So there's something really cool about this. Now, because we're not going into offices and we're working out of our house, there's something about taking a sign and hanging up for the kids and the family and saying, all right, I'm making it rain, or I'm doing this for you. It's not just to have them not disturb you, but it's also for you. When you post that sign up, you're making a commitment. This is the time I'm going to build my business. It's like making a declaration, right? Right, here's the next thing. I'm going to give you some best sources of leads. For sale by owners, to me, is the number one. Now, I'll talk about the do not call list and that in a second, but let me go through, let me talk about it now. There's my slide. Okay, good. So I'll talk about it now. I'm going to do a disclaimer, and here's what you should know before I talk about the do not call list. This is a screenshot or a picture of 2 years ago, actually. Every January, I have a live event that I do called the Listing Inventory Intensive. So it's every January. We're not doing it this year unless we do a virtual. I haven't decided on that yet, actually. But every January, we get we used to get like 700 people in the classroom, and it was just one full day just working for prospecting, building inventory, okay? And this class, I would actually have agents bring for sale by owners to the class. And you'll see I'm holding my iPhone. And if you look closely, what's coming out of the iPhone is a black wire, which is plugging into the speaker system. And I call FSBOs live from the stage. Now, my batting average is, if I call and speak to 4 for sale by owners, I'll schedule 3. So my point is, I am really good at this, like really good. And so this is my specialty. So now, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going to give you my opinion about the do not call list. Now, there's a couple of things. Number one, and here's the disclaimer. Number one is you have to do, whatever your broker says to do. Period. End of story. So if your broker says somebody's on the do not call list, don't call them, then don't. Number two is do whatever the recommendation is of the association. I didn't check with Andrea or Beth what it is, so follow their lead on that. They have attorneys. They give advice. They did this research. So in the absence of me knowing what that is and knowing what your policy is, here's my opinion on it. If somebody is on the do not call list, but they advertise as a FSBO, then it's okay to call, because the do not call list says, let me see here. Let me go back. Sorry, gang. Let me go to this. No, I don't have that screenshot, so it's fine. Sorry, gang. I'm doing some new slides. I'm doing some new slides for you, so I'm just testing. Okay. So the do not call list says that you cannot call somebody and do you can't solicit somebody that's on the do not call list. It's because it's considered unsolicited, right? But when you really look at the legality of it, is when somebody advertises saying, yes, I'm selling my house, call me. It's now not unsolicited anymore. It's because they advertise the number and they say, call me. So, but again, do whatever your broker says to do. And that's the main point. If you want to know more about that, I have something for you. If you go to everybody, do me a favor, just take a moment right now and write down that website at the bottom, darrylspeaks.com/resources. Now, the gift that I have for you is that page. There's free e-guides at the top. You'll see that. And at the bottom there where I circle, there is a 1-hour training class I did on just working FSBOs and expireds. There's some other videos there too, but all of that stuff there. And I will tell you, if you need this too, in the upper right-hand corner, it says negotiating multiple offers is really a powerful e-guide that you give to buyers and sellers if you're having multiple offer situations in your marketplace. Anyway, that page has a ton of free stuff for you. So that's just an extra gift for you, okay? Next thing is Working Expires, another great resource for working for now business. Why? Because we know these people want to sell now. Let me show you the dialogue on calling the expired. So step one, hello, may I speak with Ms. Hannah? Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is I noticed you're listing, your house had expired off the MLS. I was wondering, are you still wanting to sell? And they're going to say whatever they say. And then the next part here is this. This is the real magical part. Well, we're finding in these crazy times, there's still buyers committed to buying a house, and there's a shortage of houses for sale. This is actually working out in the seller's best interest. So now maybe the perfect time for you to sell and get top dollar for your house. So let me ask you, if I could find your buyer for your house, would you consider putting your house back on the market? And then after that question, you just start to go through and have some dialogue with them about where they're moving to, what were their plans, how can you help them? You know, and that's the other thing, gang. Let me just tell you something. The great thing about our industry is we don't just we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. When you think about what's happening is nobody sells or buys just because they want to sell or buy. They're doing it for a reason. It could be a job transfer. It could be they have a child on the way and they need a bigger house. They want to be in a different school system. They got a raise, believe it or not, even in this economy. And they're looking to buy a bigger house for their growth of their family. The point here is, when people are buying or selling, they're doing it because they're committed to their next level in life. And what we really do is help people get to their next level. We help people move from point A to point B. That's a great honor. So this is a powerful thing that we do. And that's why you need to get clear with people about what they're committed to. So there's the question there. Now, number 3 is houses for rent. Another great source, because there are homeowners who have this place that they're trying to rent. They may be bleeding money. There's been a lot of upset in the rental market for landlords. Some of them have been bleeding money and they're willing to unload the property. Why? Because now things are selling for top dollar. So now there's a way for them to cash out, not have this headache anymore. So I would invite you to consider calling houses that are rentals available and ask that seller, hey, listen, if I had a buyer who's willing to buy the property, you can make a nice profit, would you consider selling? Okay. And there's the dialogue there real quick. Hi, I'm calling about the rental. Is the house still available? Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I'm calling is I see you're renting your place, but I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would that be something you'd be interested in? And then they say yes or no. Usually they'll say, yeah, I'll be curious about that. Then step 4, that's where the real magic is. That's where you're going to build that relationship. Ask them, well, how long have they had the property? What are their goals? What would they hope to sell it for if they could? And you just kind of build that relationship there. Okay. Now, sorry. Next thing, number 4 is past clients. So we've said FSBOs, expireds, houses for rent, and past clients. And gang, I want you to pick 1 or 2. You know, I'm giving it to you in the order of my favorites. They're all awesome, though. Past clients. Now, let me share with you one of our power agents, Annette Mina with Douglas Elliman. She's from New York. She's the number 1 agent in houses sold for the past 3 years, and it looks like she's going to hit this year again, 2020. You know, if you ask Annette how many clients does she have, and by the way, Douglas Elliman, I forget how many agents they have. It's over 10,000 agents. So she's number 1 out of, I'm being conservative, 10,000. And she's an amazing agent, amazing person. And the thing about Annette, and the reason why I have her picture up is because I remember having a conversation with her once about this. I was like, Annette, how many people do you have in your client base, right? And at the time, she's like, I'm 998. I was like, 998? It's like, she's like, yes, I know. Like for her, it was like that serious of knowing her numbers, building her business, building her book of business. You know, agents like this, like Annette, where you focus on building relationships and your past clients. I've seen some agents when they decide to retire, they would sell their book of business. Although some people would say, you know, top agents, they don't retire, they just become listless. Anyway, so going on, we got, so let me share with you 5 steps to, call your past clients and to reconnect with them if you haven't been connected with them for a while. So first you would say, hi, hey, this is Darryl Davis. How are you? Okay, great. Recently I was thinking about my past clients, and I just want to check in and see how you guys are. Obviously, guys, you'll tweak this a little bit, right? Say, hey, depending on how long you've known them, when was the last time you contacted them? Yeah, hey, Mary, this is Darryl Davis. You remember me from Power Real to help with the sale of property? Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, recently I was thinking about all my past clients. I was taking a great training class with my state association, and I was just thinking about all the clients I had the honor to work with, and you popped into my head. Oh, that's so lovely. Okay, good. So tell me, how are you guys doing? So have them talk about them, whatever that looks like. There's no right dialogue here because it depends on your prior relationship with them, how long you worked with them, how many houses you showed them, when was the last time you spoke to them. So this is just have a conversation. But the point here is when you're getting in touch with past clients, you want to have the call be about them. So how are you guys doing? How are you enjoying the house? How are you guys doing with this pandemic thing? And how's John? How's he doing? And oh, that's great. And just talk about them. That's it. Now, what's going to happen naturally is they're going to ask about you. They're going to ask about real estate. They're going to say, well, Darryl, how are you doing? How's real estate? It will be so unlikely that will not come up. You do not bring it up. They have to bring it up. Otherwise, it'll sound like a sales call, and you don't want to do that. If they bring it up, they say, how are you doing? How's real estate? Here's what I want you to say. You know what? Because the interest rates being so low, we're finding 2 things with people. Either they're looking to refinance to get a better rate, maybe even take some equity out. You know, people have been sheltering in, whatever. So they're looking to fix up their property. So we're finding people fall into one of 2 categories. Either they're refinancing for a bunch of reasons, or they're saying, you know what? Now's a great time to actually move up and buy a house. So that's what's going on with me. Now, at some point, they may say, well, is that interesting? Or how are the rates? And then you'll have a dialogue about real estate. And they may ask you to help them. Yeah, you know, we bought this house 5 years ago. Our interest rate, do you think we should refinance? And then you start coaching them. Well, what's your interest rate now? And here's what they are. Let's see how much you would save. And if you're going to stay there for so many years, then it would pay for yourself to do this. So then you start having a coaching conversation with them. If that doesn't happen, you just end the call. Number 5, if you need anything, consider me your coronavirus hotline, or drop that out if you don't want to. See, I'm not sure what people, you know, I'm not living in Mississippi, right, in the whole state, and certain areas, like some people, I don't know what's happening, if this is a major concern. So you would say, you know, coronavirus, consider me your hotline. You need anything, I'm here for you. If not, just edit that and change it. Oh, now here's the next thing. Orphan adoption dialogue. Here's what I want to say about this. There are some, let me explain what an orphan is, because it's not calling children without parents. The orphan, there are people who bought or sold real estate through your company. And the agent in your company who is involved in that transaction is no longer working in your company. So therefore, nobody's taking care of them. That's an orphan. Now, if there was any brokers on the call here, if your broker was on the call, they would tell you what I'm about to say. This is one of the things that brokers hate. When somebody puts their house up for sale with a real estate company other than them, but they sold those buyers that house. it rips our hearts out when that happens. And that might happen to you. Why? Because we lost touch with these people. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to go to your broker and ask your broker for all the orphans in the company and adopt those people as your past client. And here's how that dialogue go. Hey, Mash, I'm looking for Mrs. Hana. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? Good. The reason why I was calling is to apologize. It seems as though you bought a house from us, 5 years ago through our company, and the agent who was involved in that sale is no longer working in our company. So the reason for the apology is it seems as though we might have lost touch with you. So I've been appointed as the representative in your company to help you if there's anything that you need real estate related. And I just realized this slide may be a little blurry because the print is small. Is that right, Julie?
It's a little bit, but if we're going to give them some of this information. So
okay, all right. So here's how that dialogue goes. Well, hi, I guess we should have zoomed in. We're using a new platform, so I can tell it's a little blurry. Sorry, but again, you're hearing my voice, so that's a good thing. So find out what they're committed to. So it's at this point where you're going to start to ask them questions about, by the way, how are you guys enjoying the house? Have you made any major improvements? What do you like best about the house? Blah, blah, blah. And then here's the next thing I want you. I'm going to give you a concept that after you have this conversation with these homeowners, you want to say this. So don't get worried about the actual dialogue. Get the concept. Say, Mr. and Ms. Hana, well, listen, one of the things that my company is offering too is a over-the-phone market analysis. And let me explain what that is. We're doing this for our past clients. And the fact that we haven't talked in 5 years, you might be perfect for this. So what it is that I can do an overview of what your house is worth. But I already got the information. I know how many bedrooms, baths. Have you done any major improvements to the house? Yeah, we've done some. Okay, great. What are those? So I'll ask that information, and then I'll go back to the computer and do a market analysis on your property, and then share that information with you so you have a sense of what's selling in the area, what new listings are, how much your house is worth. You see, we believe your house, how you have a physical once a year, at least we should, or you have a stock portfolio, you may check it up on a regular basis. Well, we believe here at Power Realty that your house is your most important asset, and you should have an updated market analysis, the value on it periodically. So would you like me to do this for you? It's really, as a past client, we're happy to do this for you. Oh, that'd be really nice. And then you would do just what I said. So there's several powerful things about this. Number one is you're reconnecting with a past client. Number two is you're building your past client database by asking the broker for all of these orphans. Number three is you're providing a service to these people. Number four, they may be surprised at how much their house is worth. They had no idea, and maybe that might stir something in them, right? So they may either decide to refinance or put their house on the market in this hot market and buy another house. So there's the value there. Okay, now here's the next thing. Let's go on to hitting the streets. So what I'm talking about hitting the streets is basically a couple of ways of doing that. One of our power agents, Michael Ardolino, when he took the program, he said he generated 71 listings and 64 sales because of the great source ideas. And he's been really good with what I'm going to share with you now. So in hitting the streets, if you're going to do any kind of door knocking or mailings, you want to get that list in your neighborhood. And one of the companies that we recommend, they have been around since I've been in this business for 30 years. It's a long time. That's how long this company's been around. And what happens, I'm not going to get into the whole details about them, but look into it. Cold Directory. If you want to download the names, addresses, phone numbers to people in your farm, this is the company. Now, you might have it too through your MLS, so that's a good thing. RPR, I think, might even have that as an option. Another option is going back to the Red X that I am such a fan that I love tremendously. They have this thing called GeoLeads, and how this works. Now, they've got a little different system, which I really love. What happens if you type in, let's say, an address, like at this example, it's really blurry. So it says search 741 Taylor Avenue, and you'll see on your screen all of these blue dots, and then you'll see some gray dots. So Here's what that is. There's another search criteria in there, and you probably can't really read it, but it says 2 years, meaning anybody that has lived in the house for at least 2 years. So this now says, okay, here is a list of all the people who've been in this home for at least 2 years. That's the blue. The gray, they have that information, but it's less than 2 years. You can then download that list of people into an Excel spreadsheet with their phone numbers, mobile numbers if they have it, their address, their names. And now you take this Excel spreadsheet, you put it into your CRM, you can do a mailing, so it's a one-time, you get this list based on the criteria you put in there. I love this. Now, if you were going to call your farm, here's some dialogue that you can do. Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? Fine. The reason, I hope I haven't interrupted you. The reason why I was calling you is I've been sending some information about the market to keep you informed about what's going on in your neighborhood. Have you gotten it? So obviously, you would first send out a couple of pieces to your farm area, and then you do a phone conversation. Now, I just want to pause here for a second. I want to be clear with you about something. Remember at the top of this call, I showed you the daily schedule, and I said in the morning you can do maybe an hour of now business and an hour or 2 hours of future business. This is an example. Farming is that future business that we talked about, right? It's going to take you time and money to build it, but once you do, it's a great thing, right? So you send out a couple of pieces, you do this follow-up call and say, have you been getting that information? And they say yes or no. Now what you want to do is offer something of value. Well, here's 2 examples. Well, one of the things I'm also doing for the neighborhoods is we're offering a free report on whatever, like how to sell your house in today's market, or the 5 mistakes sellers make and how to avoid them. So you should have, like we give our students reports that they can use to give to, but you can find those or write one yourself and plug it in there. I understand you folks may not be selling right now, but if you ever do, this report is really good and it's something for you to keep in your files for future reference. So that would be one option. The other option is you can offer that thing that I did before with the orphans, which is the free over-the-phone market analysis. Let me just get my picture out of the way there. One of the things we offer is the service is a free over-the-phone market analysis. Why we think this is really important is because most people, their home is one of their most important assets they have. And just like if somebody had stock portfolio periodically, you should get an update on how your portfolio is doing. Well, we feel that homeowners should do the same thing with their home. So that's why we're offering a simple over-the-phone market analysis. And here's how it works. And then you basically explain how it works. And that's essentially the free over-the-phone market analysis. All right. Now, another thing to do when you're farming and you're hitting the streets is door knocking. I'm not a fan of door knocking. I referenced Larry Gardner before. He's one of our power agents that loves door knocking. And that's why it's important you find those things that you feel comfortable with. He's done, like I said, 70 transactions. And the reason why I actually chose that photo, because that photo represents Larry. Larry is so over the top, full of energy. He's a big guy. He stands above me, and he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Exuberant, right? And he's passionate about life, and he's just perfect for door knocking, because you get a dose of Larry, man, when you meet him for the first time. One of the things that we gave Larry and we give to a lot of our students, our coaching students in the Power Program, is these, and I know you can't see this, and that's fine. Let me give you the concept and I'll show you some examples of it. It's a calendar, January, February, March. And without reading the words, what you can see, for example, is in January, a fortune cookie. And the little expression that would go with this is wishing you good fortune in the new year, And so what you do is you take these items like the fortune cookie or a box of chocolate or the Rolos, and depending on the month, you create a little theme around it, a little interesting, funny little ditty about it. Now, you should not go door knocking every month with one of these gifts because that would be too expensive. Our training with our power agents, our website has literally hundreds of forms and flyers and checklists and ideas and social media posting. It's the best thing in real estate. But anyway, So the reason why we do that is, and why I'm teaching it now here for you guys, is I like to give you more than you could possibly use or do, because I want you to find your voice, find what works for you, because that's what's important, you know? And in show business, they say that, find your voice. Like, you can't do everything that I would do. Like, that's why I said Larry, he's a door knocking guy. Me, I prefer the telephone, but we know it's still valuable, right? So let me give you an example. We'll zoom in on some that you can see. So here's a Cracker Jack box. And on the front of it, it says, we want to take a crack at real estate? Let Paige help you find your prize. You won't be jacked in your real estate transaction. So there's an example of one of the pieces. So going back to what I was saying is that we give the power agents a whole year, January, February, like here's an idea and here's an idea. And by the way, we call them, instead of door knocking, we call it smile stops, because you want to give smiles, and there's an acronym for SMILE, which is about service and get to know them. But anyway, that's not important. So you do the smile stops, and I suggest you pick 4 times a year, like once a quarter, that you make this kind of investment, because these things can be expensive, and you don't want to be doing it every month unless you're making, a ton of money. Then maybe it makes sense. So here's some other suggestions. This is a great closing gift. What she did is, packing boxes is no fun, so pass the time by emptying this one. So, obviously what Peg does is she gives her clients this box of chocolate with this cute little note. This was one of Larry Gardner's things that he gave out. Now, you'll see on the bar there, it says Larry, well, you can't read it. So it says Larry Gardner, and over to the right, it says Lisa. That's the loan officer that he works with. And the card says, we've got the scoop on the real estate market, right? So, he dropped this off. It's a fun rapport building thing with his people. This agent, what they did is they bought empty medicine bottles and printed a label up, and then created a prescription that says, enjoy these 2 M&Ms at the first sign of any stress. And he included the HUD closing statement with it. So it's just a little fun thing. Let me highlight some ways to get your house sold. I mean, this is a cool idea to use as a FSBO mailing piece, right? If you've been trying to get a hold of that FSBO and they're not easily accessible. And mailings, here's some other ideas on mailings. We're getting into the fall season, so perhaps put together some kind of do's and don'ts in selling your home this fall, and do that as a mailing piece. Or, depending if the weather is a concern, like we created this whole, we create these checklists based on hurricanes and pets, making sure they're safe, because in some parts of the country, this is a concern for people. So mailing out those things and customizing them. This is, we talked about it a couple of times during this call, free over the phone market analysis, right? So creating a flyer that explains that. And let me tell you why I love this free over the phone market analysis is 2 things. First of all, I created this concept before the coronavirus. And I used to tell our power agents, there's some people that would love to know the value of their home, but they're afraid a salesperson is going to come into their house and try and close them or sell them or whatever. So by saying, listen, I don't have to even see your house. I can give you a ballpark range of what your house is worth by you answering a few questions. The power agent said, Darryl, man, I got so many calls from people who are curious. And then when I told them, they're like, wow, and it turned into a listing. So now, even with this coronavirus, that's even more valuable, this over the phone market analysis. Oh, I love this one I'm going to show you. And I know it's a little blurry, but the concept, gang, you're fine about, don't worry about the specific words, because the concept is so powerful. So here's, I've given you a bunch of ideas of pieces that you can send out, but this is, to me, one of my favorites, okay? Now, remember what I said about farming. It takes money and it takes time, but eventually you'll see a reward and crops grow. And what I suggest that you do is consider this as a mailing piece, is 3 letters. And the letters, all you have to do is change the address within the letter. So you have a template, and then every 30 days, you mail out one of these letters. The first one is, hi, dear neighbor, I'm delighted to announce that I sold a home located at Umpty Ump Lane. Now, this is going to be on your letterhead. It's got your photo. It's in a business envelope. You should do that because you're branding you. So now the neighbors get this letter from you saying, hey, that you just sold this property. Then the second month, you send this. Hi, dear Mr. and Mrs. Hana, I thought you might like to know the following homes have sold in your market. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't say that I sold it, but if it's on my letterhead and my photo and it's in my business envelope, it creates the perception that perhaps I had something to do with it, right? Then the third month, you send this letter. Dear Hana, I just want to let you know, here's all the homes that have sold, and here's all the new homes that came on the market. So now that's the third one, same thing. I didn't list and sell these, but it creates the perception it's on my letterhead. Now, after month 3, you go back to that first letter. And so every 30 days, you're mailing your farm one of these 3 letters. Now, here's the power of this. And I've seen it work, ladies and gentlemen, time and time again, is that people keep seeing you and your letterhead and these farm letters, and they're saying, oh my gosh, this guy Darryl, he's listing and selling everything in the market. So that will create that perception that you're a top agent, and the phone will start ringing off the hook. But again, it takes some time, so you got to be patient. Okay, social media. Let's go through this. Julie, how are we doing, by the way?
We're doing good. I want to remind people that if you do have questions at the end, we'll take some of those. Just use that Q&A panel.
Yeah, so do me a favor, gang. If you'll start writing your questions there, because we've got a bunch of questions that we want to answer for you, and I'm going to just skip over the testimonial. Now, here's so start writing those questions now that you have, okay? Okay, so this here, the social media. So one of the things that we do with our power agents, I just did it again this morning, it's an idea for you, is that anytime I see an article that's worthy of sharing, I'll send it to our power agents in the closed group. So on the left, you'll see one from Housing Wire. It's official, the U.S. Won't see a housing bubble crash. Then there's another one from CNBC, existing home sale surge, nearly 21%. So you posting recognizable articles from CNBC or Fox News or CNN or Housing Wire or Curb, like people that recognize these things publishing those. So that's one idea. Here's another one. And this is one of my favorites is, to me, Facebook closed groups are like digital farming, right? So this is the group that I belong in. I live in Shoreham Wading River group. And here we've got Laura. She was asking for an orthopedist. And there's people making recommendations. There's 24 recommendations. Here's the idea, gang. Join a local group the farm area that you're trying to promote in. Find the Facebook closed group and become a member of that group. And when people start asking things, recommendations, or they need help or whatever, I want you to participate in the group, acting as if you're the admin. Like, you're not promoting yourself as an admin, but I want you to have that level of commitment to the group. So you're helping people, you're serving people, you're giving ideas, you're giving suggestions, right? So for example, going back to that, she needed an orthopedist. This one, Michelle, she lost her dog. I would say, hey, listen, let Michelle know. Listen, Michelle, do you need help putting flyers out? Let me help you find the dog, right? And then here, all of a sudden, they found the dog and, oh, sorry, let me go back to that slide. And you're the hero because you helped. And then you post a real estate related thing. So here's the concept in Facebook closed groups is you help 5 times. You give tips for people to help them. They need recommendations. They need a landscaper. Tell them, here's a landscaper for you. They need a roofer. Give them the name. Like, just keep helping people. After 5 times, post one real estate related thing. You got an open house. There's a new listing came on the market. People might want to know. Then help 5 times. Let me tell you something, gang. You do this. It's no cost. There's no mailings. It's digital farming. I love this. This is powerful. Okay. Now, next thing is improve your listing conversation. We're going to go a little faster. I have so much material here. I'm covering a little bit on each one of these things. I'm going to skip over the testimony of our power agents. So here is the how to improve your listing conversation is I want you to be authentic. So we use the acronym REAL, right? So the first part is building rapport, and this applies digitally or in person. You want to engage after you've built that rapport. You want to engage them in the conversation. The best way to do that is to ask questions. Where are you moving to? Why there? When do you need to get there by? What would happen to your plans if it didn't sell? Have you looked at properties? Ask those questions to find out what they're committed to. Once you find out what they're committed to, you ask that question. Well, let me ask you something. If I can help you get to Florida with the monies you need to make the move a success, is that something you'd be interested in? Well, let me share with you how I do what I do to help people like you get to their next level in life. Now, this is when you talk about MLS, yard sign, lockbox. So this part A, where you're going to coach them, you're going to give them advice, is where you would talk about what you do for your clients. And then, of course, the L is you list and leave. Now, I'm going to share with you the number one secret to really improving your listing inventory. And we talk a lot about this with our coaching students. We get deep into this, but I'm just going to cover a little bit of things. And that is using stories, metaphors, and analogies. Let me give you an example. When you're talking to her for sale by owner, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, when you're trying to sell your house, it's like trying to find a buyer is like fishing. You know, there's two ways to fish. You can actually go out into a lake and you throw a fishing pole out into the lake trying to catch that fish. And to me, that's what it is in selling a house. Like every marketing tool that you use is a fishing line. So you may be sitting in the boat and you put out some ad on the internet. That's a fishing line. You may go to Home Depot and get a for sale sign and put that on your front lawn. That's a fishing line. So everything that you do is a fishing line to try and catch that buyer. One of the reasons why over 85, I think it's actually 93% at this point of homeowners actually wind up listing and selling through a real estate professional is because I want you to imagine using a fishing trawler, going out into the ocean and throwing a big net out into the waters. See, that's the kind of marketing that my company does at Power Realty. Through our MLS and our advertising and all the other tools that we have, we bring all these fish on board. And that way we can be more selective, pick the best quality fish. Listen, if selling a house is as simple as putting an ad out into the internet, you wouldn't have to be licensed by the great state of Mississippi. So there's got to be more to selling than just finding the buyer, right? Which brings me to the next analogy. See, this is a picture of a Broadway show when they used to have Broadway shows. Unfortunately, they're still dark. But in any event, when you look at this picture, there's all these people involved. You've got the set design, lighting design, costume, makeup. All these people are involved in putting together this show. There is one person that everybody talks to in a show, and that's the director. The director's the glue that keeps it together. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, you got the same thing in a real estate transaction. You have you, and then you've got the buyers. And then you've got the appraiser and the engineer and the title company. Now, in some markets, the seller might say, well, I also have my own attorney, and the buyers might have an attorney. That's why we don't need an agent, right? And then you've got the home inspector and the bank representative. Now, here's what's interesting, Mr. and Mrs. Hana. You as the homeowner would only talk to the buyers when you're a FSBO and talk to your attorney that you said you have. But you would never talk to the appraiser, never talk to the engineer, never talk to the buyer's attorney. Your attorney that you said is going to do this all for you, well, they only talk to the other attorney and to you. They don't talk to the buyers. If you look at this, you've got all these people not talking to one another. And the scary thing is any one of them has the power to kill the transaction. There's only one person that everybody talks to, and that's me, the real estate professional. You're trying to sell a house without a realtor. It's like trying to put a Broadway show together without a director. It's going to bomb. Again, there must be more behind the curtains that you're not aware of that goes into selling a house. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is become tech savvy. So we're going to go to questions. I'm going to stay past the call here for a few minutes to help with questions. So I'm not going to rush off. In this virtual world, one of the things that you've got to get a little bit more tech savvy is using PowerPoint like we're using here when you're doing, because that's going to be your listing appointment. Virtual meetings, pick a platform that you're comfortable with. In our business, Zoom seems to be the most popular for real estate professionals. Now you'll see something called House Party. Do me a favor, check it out. House Party is even easier than, it's so easy. And it's really not designed for doing meetings. It's designed for friends to hang out. But I'm finding more and more of our students are using that to do virtual tours for their buyers. So it's pretty cool. That's the other thing. Learn how to do virtual tours, the do's and don'ts. And then social media, pick one platform, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and start to get comfortable with that. So here's to summarize, and then I'm going to open up to questions, and I'm going to give you guys a little bonus or something. Be a leader in your community. Pick a dollar for dollar so you can focus on building inventory. Hit the streets, whether it's in farming, mailings, door knocking. Use social media as a strategy to start building that relationship with people. I love the closed Facebook group. Improve your listing conversation. Don't just wing it. Have a structure to the conversation and become more tech savvy. So those are the suggestions. Now, Julie, do we have any questions from people?
We only have one question.
Really? Just one question?
Yeah, I'm so surprised. I don't think we've ever been on a webinar where we didn't have like 30 questions come in. Trey asked, I was thinking of starting to take potential clients out for lunch or pedicure, manicure, that kind of thing, something inexpensive. Have you guys tried that? And if so, what's the return on investment for something like that?
Yeah, so I would anything that you do to show what's the person's name? Trey. Anything that you do to give a gift to your clients, to build a relationship, the return on investment, that's kind of hard to say because it depends on your clients. It depends on what the gift is. It depends on the time of year. It depends on, I can't tell you. You'll have to start learning that. But here's what I can tell you, Trey. Now listen to me, this is very important. Whenever you start to do something different, you're going to start to make mistakes, and some things will work and some things won't. So you just experiment, but you want to at least try. You want to get out of the box and try new things. What else, Julie? What other questions do we have? Any other? There's no other questions, right?
No.
All right. Well, listen, should we? I'm going to give you guys. I'm just going to let you know about something because it's time, right? What time is it? Yeah, so we've done our hour, so we're going over. So now I'm on my time. I want to give you guys a little special because I want to make you aware of something. Our membership program we're running this special. I just want you to jot down this website. Don't anybody? Okay, wait, I got another question. I see it. Everybody, just look at that website, darrylspeaks.com/trial. We are raising our membership. We've been holding it really super low because of the pandemic, but we're going to be raising it this month. So just check that out. I don't want to anybody say, oh, Darryl sold. So I'm just going to give you the website, darrylspeaks.com/trial, and just go there, check it out. There's some video that you can ask me questions. It's an interactive video, and there's some other really cool stuff. But everything you see on that screen right now is a bonus that you get to keep, and it's only $5. So, which is incredibly ridiculous. So that's why I want to let you know about it. Okay, was there other questions, Julie?
We do have Christopher.
Yes.
A new agent in a market full of agents. How do I stand out?
Oh, Christopher, that's really great question. So, and I'm glad you hung on for that because I love new agents. Chris, let me just tell you something. I know that it feels like there's a lot of agents, but we're going to tell you something that this coronavirus has kind of leveled the playing field, because we're all in the same boat with this. And what we've discovered, Chris, is that this has taken some agents out of real estate because they couldn't adapt to the challenges that came with this. Listen, real estate is hard by itself. And then you throw a pandemic into it, right? And plus, you throw in a shortage of listings, prices going up. So there's so many challenges that we have. And this is why it's important that you attend trainings like this that your association's doing for you. And you stay plugged in, you take other coaching, other training. That's the key thing. But to answer your question on how to stand out is find the thing that you're there's several things I'm going to say. Number one is find the thing that you're strong at, whether it's social media, whether it's the listing appointment, whether it's coaching buyer. So find that piece that you're comfortable with and get stronger at that. Okay. So find what you like to do that you can be strong at and get stronger at that. Okay. Second thing is, as a new agent, you may want to work with another agent in your company to help take off the learning curve for yourself, right? So if you get a listing appointment and you have another experienced agent, they've got some listings and you have none, but you're saying you're working together, that'll kind of handle that. So those are just some quick ideas, okay? Any other questions, Julie? Or
be kind to yourself. You know, you often give agents that direction that, you know, give yourself permission to learn. And
yeah, yes, like Julie said, okay, so that's a really good point, Julie. Listen, for new agents, the thing that happens in the beginning stages of being a new agent is the learning is actually learning how much you don't know. And so what starts to happen in the beginning for a new agent, they can feel stupider, if that's a word. Because they're like, oh my God, like you feel stupid and you're not stupid. That's the process of learning something. You first learn all that what you don't know about that thing. That's true about anything. You want to learn how to take the piano? You sit down and, oh my goodness, it's not just about hitting white keys and black keys. There's a whole thing. So you learn what you don't know that you didn't know. Then the real learning starts to happen. So I'll say it one more time. 2 parts to learning anything new. The first part is learning all the things you don't know. And the second part is now starting to learn how to do those things you don't know. So be patient with yourself.
You know, I think is interesting is during this virus is that, you know, experienced agents who've been in for 30 years had learning curves now, right? So new agents bring something different to the market than experienced agents, and experienced agents bring something different than a new agent. So there's room for everybody. You know,
there's a level of enthusiasm that you have and a passion that you have. I love what Jessica just said. I had to join a team and it helped me tremendously. You're right, Jessica. You know, being part of a team is a good thing. I will tell you on that note. And by the way, while we're having this, so we're on my time now, which is fine. I'm going to stay here for another 15 minutes. Sarah, because somebody else, pop up the link to the offer that for the Power Agent, that trial, that $5, because I want people to have it so it's easy for them. So Sarah will share that with you. That's it right there. So if you guys want to know, it's right there. You can click to it and you'll see more. But here's what I can tell you about joining a team. And I see Trey's got something too. When you join a team, when I first became a speaker, I joined the National Speakers Association. And I'm going to tell you something. I learned so much. I went to that convention. I took 5 years off of my learning curve by hanging out with other speakers who had been there doing this business 5, 10, 20, 50 years before I did. So the value in working on a team or working with an agent, it takes so much time off of your learning curve. This is for the new people, right? And you don't have to get married forever with them. You do a temporary gig. You help them, you get listed, you bring something to the table. I'm going to make some calls. I'm going to do some extra work, and I need your help so I can learn. So anyway, that's a good thing. What does Trey got? Christopher, I'm a new agent as well. I have 4 Oh, listen to Trey. I'm reading this, Julie. Christopher, and then you can publish it after I read. Christopher, I am a new agent as well. I have 4 closings this month and 3 in September. Trey, how exciting. Reach out to me and let me know if I can help you in any way. But my first advice is to invest in your education. Absolutely. Do me a favor, Trey. That was so beautiful. I love it. You want to give your phone number or your email address, and we'll publish it for Chris and any of the other new. That was a very beautiful thing, and you're really kicking butt, and I think people should get to know you. So it's up to you if you want to do that. Okay. Any other questions you guys have? I ain't running away. We have an intimate group here. All right. Well, listen. I guess we're done. I want to thank Andrea and Beth for bringing this to you guys. I hope this was valuable. Oh, one other thing is if you guys want to check out this Power Agent thing, I'm going to give you all a copy of this recording, and I'm just going to give you a copy of my slides so that way you can actually get in there nitty and gritty. I mean, the slides are part of the Power program. Everything I teach, I pull from our course, but this slide deck, I will give that to you. So if you want to do that, well, I'll let my office know. Anybody that signs up now, that's what we'll send it to them. Okay. I think we're good. Yes, Julie?
Yes, I think so. Thank you to everyone who attended today. It was exciting to have you on the line. Thank you, Coach Darryl, for all that you shared. We've got a lot of thank yous that we published too. A lot of people say great information and timely for this wacky world we're living in. So
hey, listen, you know what, Julie? Before we go, I'm going to ask everybody a question. Lori, thank you very much. Do me a favor. Tell me what's the one thing that you liked out of this webinar you're going to implement. So everybody, a lot of people already got off, so I don't, but I can see who's still on the call, like Keith, Kaylin, Jessica, and Deborah, Sandy. Thank Beth, you're very welcome. So Julie, you'll publish these, but gang, tell me what you liked and what you're going to implement, okay? Just text something, like a little goal that you're going to implement. Just one thing that you want to implement that you thought was valuable. Let me see.
Your intention for to move forward.
Yes. Let's see. Talking to FSBOs. Christopher, I'm very proud of you. This is a great thing. Who else? What else you're going to implement after this webinar? Just even that's great, Julie. Publish that. Checking out RedX is awesome. Oh, Jane, I'm so happy about joining the Facebook. I love the Facebook group because it costs $0 to get involved with the Facebook group. What else do we got over here? Denise, the farming ideas. Does the Power Agent program include the Power Agent CRM? Okay, so we're going to keep posted. Denise, stay right there. Let me finish these other things. Ellen Smith, activity schedule. That's great. Deborah, what these are going
Deborah's going to start a PowerPoint for a new client.
Yep.
Lori liked the advice about joining Facebook groups. Help 5 times and post once. Andrea says, thank you. Great meeting. Hi, Andrea.
All right, go ahead, Julie. Keep doing it.
All right. Annette, I will work the orphan clients. That's great. Sandy, RedX, Bob, Expireds. Heather, thank you for sharing with us today. Thank you for being here, Heather. Lori's going to use the farm letters. Sharisa is going to take action and get organized.
I love this.
I love this as well.
Okay, Denise. Now, Deborah, you can post that. The FedEx is awesome. Denise, the CRM in the Power program. I'm going to tell you something. Denise, our Power Agent Builder, the CRM, is the best in the industry. It's a separate company that we worked with and we customize it. So it's an add-on to the Power Program membership. And the reason why we did that is because some people want their CRM that they have. So we have the Power Agent program, which is that $5 and then the $27. And then after that, it's the CRM as an added if you want to do it. So, but you get 30 days free. So you can check that out too. And it's awesome. All right, gang. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you again. Thank you, Beth. All right, gang. And thank you, Julie. And thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too. Bye, everyone. Have a great
day. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.